the enlightenment chasers. Royalties of peace. Yes, we are stealing the storms back to peace that has no storm, while looking unto perfect peace. Our hope is in perfect peace. This is another episode of the Golden Age Commandment by Marist Free Lefang. Today is January 30th of 2025, a Thursday, with the chaos going on among us. I am triggered to bring another podcast onto us today. We're supposed to have throughout the week of the first week of His Excellency President Trump's term, second term, and to continue with podcast twice a week, but of the concerns that are going on amongst us, the people, requires more healing ground. After listening to all informations, videos, audios, by those able to bring out informations unto us, to reduce the anxiety and struggles we are facing today of this new age, the golden age. Not to blindfold us from the truth, but to walk us through the truth gracefully. Must I say, it is time that we come to our senses, the purpose of humanity. Reaching the understanding of the purpose of humanity is not new to us, but has reached the base of its chasers. The last layer of humanity has been reached. And this is what we are experiencing at this time. Of the same time, shouting out joy, the same time, we can hear others still groaning and mourning. Awareness of weakness, seeking wellness, is never just completely of joy, but of traces of mourning. Never more than the joy can resolve. We all must reach the complete state of this golden age. Let us not panic, but realize what the actions are indicating unto us, the people. Must I ask, what is a law? A law is civil right. Civil right of the people. What is citizenship? Why did we come to America? Takes us back to the history that started with our forefathers, the Western world, who came to this beautiful continent, secondary to those who had first been here. The first migrants versus the second migrants, expressing of greater enlightenment that started with the first migrants, might have been shallow with the first immigrants to this beautiful continent, like a seed planted that sprout into a tree that commenced with the Western world, naming this continent secondary America, a secondary name with so much power and a need to reflect upon. What is America, if you ask us today, after we have all been reached, even the so called blacks? We were so depressed and confused, and now coming to their senses and can spell out America for the true purpose of its being: enlightenment. We seek not for the land, but for enlightenment. The testimony that the earth is not to be kept, but to be transitioned to the mind battlefield free. We are not trying to go to Mars. We are trying to go back to eternity, perfect peace. Until we all reach that destination, none is resting completely. Resting and awakening is never enough rest. Enough of the pausing is the cry of Generation Z. Must I plead with the Generation Z not to be too confused with the experiences they're having now, which we should have sorted out before even imagining to descend them into a world with conflicts instead of paradise to applaud of work well done. We are still working, which is very confusing. And not only working, but still complicatedly working with each other. Yet we are glad of the mindset of some black race folks arising of enlightenment and understanding our ancestry, though with its complicated approach, does not cease the perfect peace that we are of within, the enlightenment that we are of within. Our wisdom cannot be hidden forever. It is time we bring it out of expected to understand what is trying to transform. What is the 14th Amendment expressing? What is the law? What was the purpose of enabling the law of citizenship? If we fail to follow the expectation of citizenship, what are we expecting? Are we going to penalize the children? No, the children are not penalized. Naming a child or not does not seize the child from experiencing the child's perfection. Even if you name a child the black sheep, that child is not bound by the name. Even if the child is conceived under the ocean, that child has the power to swim out of it. The America we are naming our children of is not the America that the 14th commandment or amendment is designing. Must the child question the 14th amendment is what President His Excellency Trump is testifying for the Generation Z to question what citizenship means. Is it about being born, go to school, have a career, get married, have children, age, leave descendants, and quit the world? Is that really what the 14th Amendment is all about? Making a generation in the United States of America? Must we go back to history and consider the rebellion, the Bacon's rebellion is exactly what is going on with us now, like of different color, the same shape, but different color. The same problem with a different color. The Bacon's rebellion of 1689, the uprising of Sir Nathaniel Bacon and groups of other individuals of lower stages. Those under indentured servitude, and even some black race individuals rose up armed against Colonel Governor Williams Beckley. Why? Governor William Beckley was under the direct crown control, the British control. The endeavor to enable the people of enlightenment to realize where they're falling short, looking for a place where they can grow and grow the others. Like planting a seed. When the soil is too weak for the seed is transferred to another soil, which is beautiful for the seed to grow. And the growing of that seed into a tree is able to enable the other plants around to wrap, to creep on the tree. I hope I am enabling us to reflect healthily of what is going on so we can address this situation. It is about us, the people, to be involved. When the presidency is acting like in pain, we must become the nurse. We must act right. Fiction or non-fiction, let there be a lesson, and the lesson enable a blessing. Presidency is us. We are the people. Whatever we are doing, real or not real, two wrongs never make it right. Addressing the problem should be healthily expressed. Now, do not go follow politics' way of expressing with so much curses. They have their own way of speaking, such that when we, the people, want to speak, we want to speak like the nurses and not the patient. When the presidency is presenting itself like a patient, we must be the expected nurses. When the nursing teacher wants to demonstrate with the students, we never disrespect the teacher, but value every opportunity we have with the teacher and learn. This conflict between Sir Bacon and Governor Bagley, owing to Sir Governor Bagley preventing Sir Bacon's group to enter into the lands of the natives, of the first migrants. Meaning, when you're on the stage, do your job being the stage actor. Do not become an audience when you are on the stage. Do not push away the audience. When you have been given space to speak, speak with respect. Show the light that you are Sir Bacon, and do not be confused. But there is confusion over this beautiful one after being conceived into a world unexpectedly, expecting peace, but rather realizing a place of war, a place so constrict instead of freedom. When they heard about a new land, they were so excited because the first land was not sufficient for them, being a seed coming in with so much energy and being brought to this secondary land must be able to be of expected for those in the land to be able to support themselves, creeping plants, support themselves on the strong trees, and they grow together beautifully and produce effective products that are applauded for. This group of Sir Bacon rebelliously entered the natives' land, trying to expand space for themselves. And the governor, Governor Bagley, was not in accord with it and tried to resist them from failing themselves, but they could not understand why, calling themselves the poor and the governor the rich, just like how we are pointing fingers at the rich and calling ourselves the people of low class status. Now, what is our problem here? Expansion. When we look at this, it's very, very clean and clear. Expansion. Are we in this land to expand? When even we, the blacks from Africa today, instead of coming in and assisting our brothers who had been here to become of enlightenment of expected, we rather join them and begin to reproduce and reproduce to make children, the blacks of America. Is that really our calling? What is America? What is this naturalization? What is this citizenship we keep looking for to occupy a land instead of growing of the mind? We claim we come here for school. We take student visas by all means to come here if we cannot get the green cards. Such that even when we come with a green card, and have the opportunity to go to school. We complete and still fall back, making the mistakes which we should be healing from. If our brothers that were born of our first forefathers who came here are making mistakes because they are suppressed by the depression than we are we going to be doing the same things with them or trying to get them to the wellness of expected? It is time for us to come to our senses and become one body. This golden age must be fulfilled. Teaching the young generation, especially Generation Z, is so much a golden age, even if we do not want the title golden age because it is from President Trump. At least we have the Generation Z to look at it and realize where we are today, the golden age, the final age to reach the complete enlightenment, the diamond age, which is eternity. We do not want to have a diamond age in this physical world, be it in Mars or wherever. How many worlds you have does not fulfill you, but reaching the fullness of knowledge. No matter how many houses you have, does not fulfill you, but becoming of enlightenment of expected. No matter how many children you have and grandchildren, never fulfills you, but you being able to provide these children with enlightenment of expected. When a child has to depend on you all their life, a disabled child, only a symbol of the generation of disabled people we are, living in the dark age when we are of the golden age. The AI intelligence is not a joke. It's time for us to awaken, to realize. I plead that we go back and really study the Bacon's Rebellion. And then we begin to really reflect healthily where we are today. We're not trying to repeat history, but rather use the history like parables to fulfill the fullness of knowledge. Having all sort of education of higher levels. The young ones should not be confused when we are able to teach them, to educate them. When we hear our young ones talking like us, it's very sad. The way I think now is so different than the way I used to a few years back in my 30s. For my 30 years on earth, I have been so confused, such that when I hear the news and hear my yesterday talking now, I feel so sad. And I'm really hoping that we really get together and really use the tools that we have received from education, money, wealth, higher standards, and apply it to achieve that enlightenment perfect of none left behind. Why the wealthy are getting wealthier and those that don't have are getting more suppressed. They need to become equal. Why are women still of lower standard to men? Enough of this descending of ancestors back to being babies when our journey is to reach integrity of infinity and eternity. We are on a journey. We are never coming back. No one wants to come back. Therefore, we must be able to enlighten the children to expect it. Sir Bacon and his group were proclaimed and declared fines for the destructions that they enabled. But they instead thought that the government instead owes them a thank you and funding for the good work they have done. We now, in the eyes of these our fathers, we of the lower class stature are the Sir Bacon's group, we should consider that and realize where we are falling short. Are you saying that our children don't have the right to be citizens? They have the right to be citizens, but teach them the right reason. How do we resolve this situation we have with President Trump concerning the, the amendment? Is he against the amendment? No. It's how we have abused the amendment. I, for one, I am guilty, even though I am not being penalized because I had my children earlier. Puts me in a very hot seat, seeing another child not being able to have citizenship makes me feel guilty. And which is why we really have to talk. We, the people, really have to come together and talk. What is it like to have all the glory and the child now not being able to have? What is it like to be able to send your child to all schools and then having to see a child that doesn't go to school? Even if the parent is the reason why, it doesn't change the fact that the child is affected. What is this thing about child, 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 child in our businesses? We have a fault. We cannot let the children be a problem in between us solving our problems. Let us not use children to deceive ourselves, but let them have all the glory while we really get to our understanding. Enough of putting children in front of us to hide our weaknesses. I am guilty. You could say I'm guilty alone. You will not want your child to wake up tomorrow and say, oh, what did mama do? Like we will look back at our parents of yesterday and say, oh, we need to fix things that were not fixed or disrupted. It is time we really realize that it's about ascending, not descending. For our forefathers have really worked so hard. There is a reason why the North, the part of America, never had many children, but the South struggling. This group of Sir Bacon reflected those of the South, still in the process of healing. We of this time should be able to fulfill them, not trying to keep tradition, but reach reason. It is time to reason together of expected by understanding the traditions. Why were these repetitions going on? To the understanding, the brainstorming in action must reach its completion with reason in action. Let us teach our children well. This time is not really needed. It's a shame unto us, the people, experiencing this presidency. It is not President Trump's fault. The freezing of the funds on us with children. We have first of all freezed ourselves, not being able to work effectively, needing to care for children at the same time working. It's hard. The joy my children bring, but your children don't receive the joy that you think they bring to you. Not being able to have you 24/7 because you have to work for them and yourself. What is the joy that we think the children bring to us when we cannot even give them enough joy? Is it about giving them gifts or is it about being a family? Our forefathers did not really have the problems we have today. It is not about money. Money is only a tool, an assistive device to help us come to perfect peace, to realize that our forefathers, though living together and having children, were not able to perceive the disruption that was coming, which money is helping us today to understand ahead of time. not to leave fragile ones behind in the name of descendants, and unable to fruitful them to expect it. Disabled children cannot be left behind. Dementia, surprising our children, cannot be possible. Talking about virus is even mild. What will it feel like if we all just become dementia, faced with some dementia situation? What will it feel like? Thank goodness for AI. Let us begin to see the goodness that is coming for us and heal. I'm just pleading that we reflect together. I'm not saying that what is going on with us today is okay. It's not okay, but we can resolve it healthily, being the nurse to our government. It is very obvious. If we have a bruise, Father heals us. For so long through the Democratic Party, let us be able to face the Republic with expected. If we are well taught by Democratic Party, let us be able to produce the expected of the Democratic Party, not the complicated. Let us learn and heal. Peace stills the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. Understanding this with Genesis 41, 1 to 28. Let a dream be interpreted healthily, not ridiculously. Thank you. Sir Elon saying, many whites to be born is the mind to be born, not children physically. Let us interpret a dream and help our rich people, our kings, so we can be equal, like Papa Joseph was with the king in his time. Thank you. Let us heal. Peace stills the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace.